Old School Bulls. I am Shane Amondo, and today we're back in the rat shed. This will probably be my last video from my rat shed because I'm pretty sure I have got it all down and correct and it's working fine. I haven't had any issues so far at the minute, bar one, which is my mistake, so I've got to fix that later. But on today's video, I want to give you a breakdown on the overall shed itself, what things have roughly cost me, just off the top of my head, what I've been using, where I've got some things from, and how the rat breeding is going. So without any further ado, let me take you over to my little mistake first and show you where I've gone wrong. Right, so from my other videos I did say I put my own mesh over the top of the old mesh, okay? So this is the problem I've had, is when I had pups in this little cage here, when they got to about 23-24 days old, I was finding the odd one or two in this one, and today when I was cleaning I found one in this one. So the problem I have is at the front, as you can see, it goes down and over the top of the mesh, which I haven't got a problem with because the mesh is smaller. So underneath this is 1/2 inch mesh, which is okay for the rats and obviously the bigger AFSs, if you can see him. Hey, there he is, hello. And then over the top of this, I can't remember what size this is, but it was like anti-rodent mesh off Amazon, which I already had anyway. And I've just gone straight over the top here, so as you can see there's a gap between the 1/2 inch mesh and this mesh that I've put over the top. So I've got to sort of either move all these breeding groups down to here where I can get the stapler in to staple it on, because I've done it correctly here. Look, straight over the top, which means I can do it all down there and move my breeding tubs here, or try and cut this off and redo it. I think the redoing it option is probably going to be my better option. But yeah, that is the one mistake I've had so far in my rat shed. So get the bad bit out of the way first, and the next bit. So this was an empty shed when I started. If you remember from my old videos, I put all this insulation up, this silver foil stuff up here. This has worked really well, to be fair. I haven't had any problems. It's still got the gap between the foil and the actual roof itself, and the vents are still clear. I just haven't done this wall because I don't think I've needed to so far. Maybe in the winter it might come round to that. But yeah, so I got all this foil. There was about 5 or 6 rolls of foil, and that cost me all of roughly 55-60 quid with that. If you count the stapler as well, that would be nearly 80 to 90 quid with a stapler, and that's still all stapled on there nice and tight. I did do the joins in the silver foil, like I said I wasn't going to, but I did on these bits because where I used 2 offcuts on the ceiling and it didn't quite go on a joist, it was sort of flapping. So the joist is there, so this bit was flapping. It didn't matter because the other bit underneath it goes all the way over to like here, but I didn't like the flapping, so I done that. But yeah, that's the insulation side of things. So it's about, say, 80 quid, 90 quid with the stapler, because I got an electric stapler because I'm lazy. Next thing is I put my extractor fan in. So the extractor fan is running perfectly fine. This was, do you know what, this was like 30 quid on Amazon. It is a bargain. Let me just flick it on. I turned it off because obviously the noise. So that's running, pumps everything out really well. Not much more I can say about that apart from it is on a timer. So with the timer, what I've done is I've put it to come on for like an hour, then it goes off for an hour and a half, 2 hours throughout the day and the night, and I just leave that running all the time, unless it's really, really hot like it was the other day, and I just put it on and left it on until it cooled down a bit, and it did take the heat and that out of here and a bit of the smell out of here, because when it gets near cleaning day there is a little bit of a smell, not a great a strong smell, but just a little bit. I can smell it. And then I've also added a heating element. I think this was about 40 quid off eBay. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 fin oil filled radiator. It cuts on and off itself. I've got it set to about 4.5 on just one setting. I can have it boosted it up a little bit, but I don't need to. It works really well, keeping that temperature up for me just a little bit, and then obviously with the fan in, it takes it out over every hour. So that's how I've heated it, and that's how I'm keeping it warm. So yeah, that was 30 quid. That was I think 40 50 quid. So yeah, so we're looking at, with that insulation as well, that's going to be, to get the shed up and running and heating, quick maths, so let's say 80, 90, 100, 110, 150 quid to get the shed was already built, so I didn't have to pay for that, but to get that done. So yeah, the setup 150 quid, and then the rack, you saw how I built that, and that was 200 quid for the rack, for everything, bought second hand. So yeah, so let's say 350 quid, and I got myself a breeding facility set up. I did chuck a rubber mat down in case I spill any water on the floor so it don't rot, but that was 25 quid. But you don't really need one if you don't want it. So yeah, that's the setup of the shed. And we'll go from there, going on to the food. So this metal bin, I keep it in a metal bin just in case any rats get in from outside, because there is chickens behind my house. That was 16 quid off Amazon. My food, so at the minute in here is just that Arkwright chicken dog biscuit. That's costing me 15 quid for 15 kilos at a time, and that is my second bag in that bin. And I think it's been running for what, a month, just over a month maybe. I did have some sour rolls mixed in the bottom there as well, but I'm just going to stick to just these dog biscuits. I find they were leaving them sour rolls more and eating more of these dog biscuits. But yeah, so about a 15 kilo bag. I'll probably do about a scoop like that a day. A little bit more for the bigger rats. The scoop was 2 quid, I think I said that. 15 quid for the food. Not only that, I don't just feed them that, so I also have in my magic cupboard just some pots in here. So little walnut and hazelnut mix that I made from Lidl's, but that was about 2 quid a bag. I got little sunflower hearts and pumpkin seeds, they're probably about 1 quid a bag in Lidl's again. Got Lidl's down the road. What else we got in the secret cupboard? Got my mealworms. This big bag like that, I can't remember how much is in it, but let's have a look. 500 grams of mealworms. They last quite a while actually. They are £5 in B&M's a bag. So that's just my little bits I keep in here. I give them some fat balls. They were tenner for I think 20 odd, maybe a bit more on Amazon again. But yeah, then I also every couple of days go and spend 3 or 4 quid on bags of salad and different type of leafy stuff, some peppers for them. So that's for food, so it's 15 quid. Let's say that was tenner for mealworms, it's 25, 30, about 30 quid on treats. And to be fair, I've got that full tub of mealworms, there's still half a bag in there. That's been just over a month as well, same with the seeds. And normally if I only get 1 bag of each, that normally just does one day. I get it like once a week, so it does about 1 day. What else have we spent money on? Obviously your kitchen roll and stuff, you don't really count that. These 1 litre bottles of this Dettol multi-purpose, 2 for a £5 in B&M's, absolute bargain. So for the month, clean every week. Still on my first bottle, and I've got 3 more in there, so that'll last a while. Got some little chewy sticks, they're a tenner for, I can't remember how many, but that was nearly a full bag. So in that bag I've got that left, and every one of my rats has got a handful to chew on. So yeah, that is the food. And then I'm still on my first bag of sawdust, which is here. That was 25 quid on Amazon, and that's with cleaning it every week. These cat litter things, they're 11 quid a bag. I'll probably use more than I need to, but I'm on probably 5th bag. But I fill the bottom of my tray up. And then down here is meadow hay, and that little bag of meadow hay here is like just under 3 quid. No, I think I bought 3 of them for 8 quid, or just under 9 quid. 3 of these bags off Amazon again, and I'm still on my last bag of my first order, so I've still got 3 bags left. I tend to buy things, overbuy things like well before I run out, because I like to be organised. So yeah, that is there's another bag of sawdust there. That was 25 quid off Amazon. It's meant to be dust free as well. Each one of these water bottles was no more than 3 quid. Obviously you need your water bottles. Yeah, so that's the food and my little bedding stuff and cleaning stuff. Bought this little gadget. It's just 24 now because I've turned that fan off. But it has been keeping around, depending on what the outside temperature is like, 19 to 22 around here. It's more around 21, 22 when the fan's running. So it keeps it nice and well. Moving on to the next step. I haven't had to gas anything yet, but I have got this gas, and I found this gas on eBay for 30 quid a bottle. It's food grade CO2, 100% CO2 for fish tanks, and it came with its own little regulator, so I thought I'd try it. It's just one quick little fix, so I didn't have to keep trying to source different things. But yeah, that goes on there, and that's quite, it's not a massive bottle, but you know, for 30 quid I'm going to stock up with them, and that should keep me going. But yeah, other than that, that is my setup and how much things have cost. Now, the rats themselves. So I've been to the pet shop and got these rats. I've shown them before, if you can see them in there. There's 1.2 in there, and 1.2 in here. These are new, I only got these a couple of days ago. Male is all blue. She's like, I don't know what they are, but they're doing well. Each one of them rats was 20 quid from the pet shop, so not really cheap. But there's my male, big old boy, and then that one there, the one with the solid grey back, I think is pregnant. So I'm hoping for my first litter of rat pups. But yeah, it's 120 quid there for the rats. Obviously you don't have to get them from a pet shop, but I was just impatient and jumped on and got some. But they're the only 2 I got. I do want one more group of 1.2s for this one, and then that'll give me them 2 tubs and the bottom 5 for holdbacks and grow-ons. So the AFS or multis, these are doing really well. So they have got, I don't know if you can see, let me see if I can zoom in. I have had a litter last night. It's right down there. There's one there, and every single one of these females was pregnant. She's huge. So this group's doing really well. This one, the big white one I just showed you, she came to me pregnant. The other 2 didn't, but she's had her litter. This is pregnant again. I've got the greys. When cleaning these today, I noticed 2 of these females were pregnant. So yeah, they're nice. And then these other ones, they're all growing really well. See them at the back, hide in there. So yeah, as you can see, I put the meadow hay in here, toilet tubes. These are the chewy sticks, that they'll get a handful of them. Just put that salad in there now. They get a little fat ball every now and again. And then food. I've been feeding on the floor because obviously they can't chew the food through here. But I haven't had that much mess, obviously, apart from the end one, which I can't clean out because they've just had a litter. But I have been making and trialling my own little food bowls, which are really good because I thought they make them out of wood and they can chew it, as you can see. There's something wrong in it. But yeah, that's them. So that's the breeding groups. Now, in one of my videos, I had that litter of 27 pups. They're now 26 days old, and I took them all out, and I've got 20 out of 27. I've got 25, and these things are as good as gold. Look, they love me. I love them. So they eat salad, all that good stuff. But yeah, as you can see, these were the ones that were getting out of that 1/2 inch mesh. So and that's why I've made this the way I made it, under the back, so they don't get out. So that's the litter she had, but she came with a couple of babies as well, and then babies are now in here. If I can get to them. Hang on, let me pull it out and I'll show you. So yeah, if you was to look back on the other videos, you'd see that I had a few babies in with that bigger white female, and this is them now. Please don't bite me. You always bite me when I've got my camera on. So let me just grab this little fucker. Leave me alone. They're normally good as gold, but if I just get one, come here. So yeah, this is the size of them now. Look, I'd say they're about 40 grams now. Doing really well. So, but yeah, so that's the little rats, and how well they're doing. Let me just pause this because I can't do it one-handed. Sorry. So that's them away. Right, sorry, my phone died. My bad. I was listening to Pappy's Python podcast or something like that on YouTube whilst cleaning the rats, and forgot to charge my phone at the same time. Right, yeah. So that's all them. They've been doing really, like I said, been doing really well. I have had a few babies been eaten by the mum, and a few that either suffocated or got squashed or something. They were dead. Not many, but the ones that did die, I just went and fed off anyway. So it was a bonus for me in that department. My DG clown that I had that was sort of a bit funny with food, absolutely loved him. So he's now growing well after that. So yeah, so this basically, it cost me 350 quid to set everything up, and it's probably going to cost me, looking at it, between 40 to, let's say, 40 to 100 pound maybe a month. Not even that high, just depending on what I need to buy and top up and whatever else I buy when I pop into the local shops. But I'd say minimum 40 quid for food and the odd clearing out. Maybe, let's say, 60 quid minimum with buying new sawdust, but that sawdust lasts ages. So yeah, I've personally really enjoyed this, getting this ready and getting this set up and running. It has helped kill the time between clutches being laid and clutches hatching, because the first clutch we got to hatch is probably 5 to 10 days away from hatching. It helped keep something. I need something to do all the time, or I get bored fairly easily, and that little bit in the middle there, it's always a killer for me. It was before, and it still is now. So having something to look after and crack on with while they're doing their bit is so much more fun, and I enjoy the hobby more now with the extra work. So I recommend anyone that is thinking about doing it should just jump in and give it a go. I was originally only going to start with a few lab cages, but obviously this rat come up, and that's why I've got so many. Well, so many, I say that's why I am where I am now. There is over there a little gap in the corner at the end of that rack. Look where the toolbox is, which I do want to build floor to ceiling, about 5 or 6 tubs if I can, as a backup, just in case, with the way things are breeding. Now my plan is with this is to obviously breed these, cull them off and then put them in the freezer, stock my freezer up, feed my snakes off them. Anything extra that overflows and I don't need, then I can offer them out to friends or whatever that have got them. Also, it's going to help me with trickier feeders. If I really need to use a live feeder, then I've got live feeders here. By the time my first clutch hatches, I should have some animals I can use from here into there. And I think it is going to save me a hell of a lot of money in the long run. I mean, the money side of things, I think if you really enjoy something and it's something you really want to do, you'll pay the money to do it, and it's not really that much of an issue. So for me at the minute, laying all this money out to buy things and get myself up and rolling in this hobby where I want to be is not a problem. But at the same time, it's nice to save it and be self-sufficient, as well as I know how my rats are looked after, that I'm going to use, what's in them, what I've fed them, you know, backstory. You know all the backstory, which I think is a good thing when it comes to things like this. I don't think I've got anything. Oh yes, so yes, I say it's going to cost me about 60 to 100 quid a month, and I'm thinking about it. I've just put a little top-up order in of food that come today. Just I think it was like 80 Maltese, 25 rats, 10 pups, 10 sort of, I don't know, small wiener things, and it was like 250 quid, you know. So, and that's just a little top-up to see me through the next maybe week or two, so you can see how much that's going to save me really over a month if I'm spending 600 quid buying rats in, when it's only really going to cost me, by the time this is fully up and running and I've got my backup and stuff, you know, to use 300 quid's worth of frozen rats for the price of what, 120 quid over 3 months or something stupid like that. My maths ain't great, but it's gonna help, which in turn, with the money that I've saved from buying these in and using my own, I can then spend and buy new snakes, like the one I just bought the other day. I bought myself a yellow belly grim clown male, you know, so things like that can progress my projects going forward. So yeah, that being said, I did have an ovulation yesterday / this morning for my Desert Ghost female. It was bred to a super gravel Enchi male, because I want to hit some, well, DG super gravels, but there'll be super Enchi in there as well, which I think will be pucker, because then I've got 2 super forms in there and a recessive in there. So anything I breed with the holdbacks, once I make the super, because these are going to be hets and that, so I've got to breed them. So down the road, when I hit the super gravel, super Enchi, Desert Ghost, anything I breed to that will be Enchi, gravel, het DG, no matter what. So yeah. But other than that, guys, any questions at all on how I've done this? Like I said, I probably won't make another video now because I've covered pretty much everything, and I just don't want to keep repeating myself. But anything I can help you with, or where I got stuff from, again, any tips or tricks, then just hit me up. I'm happy to share my knowledge that I've gained by doing this. Like I said, it was really fun. If you're thinking about it, just give it a go. I was always unsure, but I'm glad I took the plunge now. It isn't as hard or as scary as you think, as long as you've got, you know, the space. I'm quite lucky I've got the space. I'm quite lucky I've got the time as well. It takes me an hour to clean what I've got out at the minute, top to bottom, cleaning the shed as well. Takes me 10 minutes in the morning to feed them. It'd take me 10 minutes to do the water as well. I would have an automatic water feeder, but I just don't want to risk any floods or anything, especially with the wooden floor and that. But yeah, so I pop in here 5 times a day as well, you know, just to look at them, admire them, drop them a treat, get away from the kids, quiet space. But yeah, other than that, guys, like I said, please feel free to ask me any questions. I'm always happy to help anybody. People have helped me along my way of doing this, which I'm really grateful for as well. But other than that, guys, I'll stop rambling now, and I will catch you on the next one.